In a lot of socials, you will see how to manifest your ex back. And you'll be taught, do this for 3 times, or say this, or do this technique. Some of those will work. But what often happens, and I know because I hear this over and over and over again. Yeah, sure. Maybe that ex texted them back. Maybe they asked them out again. Maybe they fully came back. But it's patchy. There's not a lot of safety or security that the relationship is stable. Oftentimes they separate again. Manifestation is not tricks. It's not like party tricks that you can do. Manifestation is part of living a life connected to your spiritual self. Because you're not your mind, you're not your body. In essence, you are spirit. But what happens when you're trying to manifest your ex back and you haven't connected to your spiritual essence, you're manifesting only from the human mind, is that you're often doing it from a place of desperation, scarcity, lack. And because our inner world will be reflected in our outer world, you'll manifest your ex back while still feeling that at any moment they will leave again or that it won't work again, and that you don't have that conscious relationship that you desire. I call that patchy manifesting. In your essence, you desire safety, security, trust, healthy communication, happiness, conscious relationship that you both grow in and you feel deeply satisfied in it. It doesn't come from just trying all these random manifestation techniques. So instead, I'm going to teach you 3 simple things for you to do that you can manifest your ex back in abundance, connected to your spirit self, and in a way that you'll have a relationship better than what it was before, even better. So that when your ex does come back, you're both happy, satisfied, and fulfilled in each other and in the relationship. So it all begins with your self-concept. That is number 1. Shifting your self-concept is literally shifting your inner world to reflect your outer world. So for example, do you really want to manifest exactly the same relationship you had before? Because in that relationship, the versions of each other didn't work out enough. You guys are not together. You don't want to manifest from that same self-concept, the one you have today. You're risking that relationship being patchy again, not being safe, not being secure or consistent. You want to shift into who are you in the relationship that you desire to have. Take a piece of paper to kind of like put down your thoughts about this. Take the good things that you loved about the relationship that you had. Keep those. But then what do you want to add to it? What kind of new and wonderful relationship do you want to have with your ex? What does that relationship look like? Who are you in that relationship? Because the version of yourself in that relationship is different than the version of yourself right now, today. So how is that person different? What kind of thoughts does that person have? How do they make decisions? Think about even how does that person walk? How do they flow through their day? What kind of things do they do? Think about it this way. You're looking into the reality you will quantum leap into. So when you're looking at that version of yourself, however way you visualize or picture it, what do you see? Who is that being? Write down some of the things that they do. How do they think? What kind of beliefs they have? Next, you will become that version now. Don't have to wait for anything to happen to be able to step into that version of yourself. In fact, trying to wait for something to happen to then be that version, you're always chasing it. You're chasing it. You're chasing it. And it never seems to happen. Instead, you make a decision to step into that version of yourself. You become that version of yourself. You start shifting your thoughts. You start shifting some of your actions. You start changing your beliefs to align with that version. you do some of the things that that version does. Maybe that version always makes it a priority to do their yoga classes. Maybe they read certain books. There's nothing stopping you from becoming that version today. And the thing is, you must become that version to get inside of the frequency and be in the same vibration that you will be leaping into. The third thing that you'll do is you will shift how you view your ex. So you've seen the relationship that is yours and available to you. You shifted into that version of yourself. You have become that version. So then naturally, you're going to shift how you view your ex. The old version of your ex, the one that maybe didn't meet the needs that you had. Maybe there were a lot of fights. Maybe there was a lack of trust. Maybe they weren't consistent. Whatever it was that they're not your ex, they're part of that. You're going to shift how you view them. For example, let's say they were not consistent and you really had wanted them to be consistent, but they were not. Instead of thinking, I wish that person was more consistent, I want you to see them as someone who is consistent, who does meet your needs with love and desire, who's able to communicate with you in a healthy way. There's so much trust with that being, so much pure love with that being. There's loyalty. They're your biggest cheerleader, lifting you up. See them in their ideal self, in their best self, so that when you're thinking about them, this is the version that you're thinking about. Because this is where some of these other manifestation techniques can go wrong. If you don't shift how you view that person, they often will come back as that version and then later become your ex again. We want a conscious, loving relationship that lasts. So you will see them, speak of them, think of them as their ideal self. Do that every single day. If you follow these steps, sustain the belief, knowing this relationship is yours. There is a reality where you're both living these versions of yourself and you sustain that. You shift your self-concept, shift the way you view that person. You're now living in the frequency of that reality. You stepped into it. Now everything around that will organize itself to attract all of it towards you. You're not waiting for anything to happen to take these steps. You're entering that frequency, living in that vibration. And when you do that, it has no choice but to become the reality you live in. You will quantum leap into it, and it will be yours.